We're just one day away from Syracuse football season. How many players will make All-ACC?
You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into Locked On Syracuse. I'm Jackson Holzer, and thank you for making us your first listen of every single day here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day, and we're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And on today's show, we are going over how many players Syracuse football will have that'll make All-ACC. That's right, it's this week's Poll Friday question. The over-under that I set for it was 6.5. In total, there were over 130 votes this week, and about 70% of you guys said that Syracuse will have more than 6.5 players make All-ACC. So for those that may not understand 6.5, I'm essentially asking, are they going to have 6 or less, or are they going to have 7 or more? And most of you guys think that they will have 7 or more players make All-ACC. And I agree with you guys. I'm going to tell you why right now. Let's start off with last season. Syracuse had an up and down year last year. I think we can all admit that. They were 6-6 in the regular season. They got off to a hot start, then kind of faltered, then kind of went back up, and then won the final regular season game to make the bowl game. In that kind of weird year, they had 5 players make All-ACC. And for this Poll Friday, I am counting honorable mention as All-ACC. I know I did a podcast, a full one, a while back where I didn't count honorable mention. This time I will. So last year they had 5 players make it. All right. LeQuint Allen was second team. Marlowe Wax was second team. Jack Stonehouse, the punter, was third team. Chris Bleish was an honorable mention. And Justin Barron was an honorable mention. Now, 4 of those guys who made it last season are back for Syracuse football this time around. And in fact, Marlowe Wax was on the preseason All-ACC team. And the reason why that's important is because that was only one team. So not only are they projecting that Marlowe Wax is an All-ACC linebacker again, they're projecting him to be first team for this upcoming season. So that's important to note. Remember, the over-under I set was 6.5. If you assume that the 4 players that made it last season make it again this season, then that means you got to find 3 more players on Syracuse's roster to make All-ACC. And I think we can find 3 players on the team right now that can make All-Conference. I'm going to start off with one of them before we get to the break. Oronde Gadsden is the easy one because Oronde Gadsden has been a first-team All-Conference player before. I believe he's also been an All-American. He would have made it last season, but he got hurt. He got hurt very early in the year. But I think we can all confidently say that he was going to be an All-Conference tight end last season. So, and by the way, he was on the All-Conference preseason list for this year. So he's got high expectations once again. That's already the 5th player. Now we're just looking for 2 more players on the roster who can make All-Conference. Fuel up with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Make today the day you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Head to factormeals.com/LockedOnCollege50 and use code LockedOnCollege50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code LockedOnCollege50 at factormeals.com/LockedOnCollege50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. Passion, drive, and patience, the formula for winning championships, is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. So already we're at 5 players on Syracuse's roster that can easily make all conference this upcoming season. The 4 holdovers from last year, so that's LeQuint Allen, Marlowe Wax, Jack Stonehouse, and Justin Barron. And then, of course, someone who made it in 2022 but was hurt last season in Oronde Gadsden. Now it's time to find 2 more players on the roster that we think can make All-ACC to hit the over at 6.5 total players to make all conference on this team for next season. By the way, this is my line. All right, my line at 6.5. I think it's pretty easy. The 2 other most likely candidates, in my opinion, Kyle McCord and Fadil Diggs. If I had to give a bold prediction for this upcoming season, because I'm not a huge fan of bold predictions, I like just telling you how I feel and you interpret it as you may. I think McCord's going to have a really, really strong year, and he's going to be second team All-ACC this upcoming season. Did you guys watch Grayson McCall at NC State last night? If you did, well, let's just say it makes me a little bit more confident now that Kyle McCord is going to be an all-conference quarterback this upcoming season, because I know a lot of people had high hopes for Grayson McCall. Let me tell you this much. I wasn't all that impressed watching him play against an FCS team. Let's just put it that way. It's one of the many reasons why I don't really buy into NC State. But regardless, I think Kyle McCord's chances went a little bit higher thanks to Grayson McCall not having a great day. DJ did not have a great day, obviously, for FSU last week. Haynes King looks like a problem for Georgia Tech. I think that Kyle McCord is going to have a strong year and make all conference. So now we're at 6 players. We need 1 more to get to 7 and hit the over. And I think that's Fadil Diggs. Fadil Diggs was one of the top 60 overall players in the transfer portal. And I think he's going to have a career high in sacks as the premier player on the defensive line for Syracuse football. I think I said last week that he was going to have, or maybe it was this week, 7 sacks for Fadil Diggs this season. And if I think he does, if he does hit that mark of 7, I think he'll easily make an all-conference team. I think it's a fair expectation for him. So in total, if you take the 4 from last season, you take Oronde Gadsden as basically a given, and then you add in Kyle McCord and Fadil Diggs, their 2 top transfers from this offseason, well, there you go. You got 7. And there are other players who can obviously break out and have all conference years. Savion Washington, Zeed Haynes, who knows, maybe Marcellus Barnes goes off. Clarence Lewis from Notre Dame could have a big year. There are a lot of possible contenders, but I think the 2 most likely to join the 4 from last season plus Oronde Gadsden are Kyle McCord and Fadil Diggs. Once again, this episode is Poll Friday, over under 6.5 players for Syracuse football, or 6.5 All-ACC players for Syracuse football in 2024. And I agreed with about 70% of you guys, which is that they will have 7 or more make all conference. A reminder for Poll Fridays, I post the question on Monday afternoon, usually actually just around noon, on Twitter, which is at @LO_Syracuse. You can vote right there Monday through Thursday night. I also posted on the YouTube community section, which is just this YouTube channel, and then on the community side. So the question's also there. That's how you vote for Poll Friday each and every week. Now, we're just 1 day away from Syracuse football playing Ohio tomorrow at 3:30. I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this video, click that like button. And if you really liked it, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications so you know right away when I am dropping the next podcast. Folks, get a good night's sleep, and then Syracuse football awaits us Saturday afternoon.